Hey guys, Kyle Bradge from Chevrolet Motorsports here with Brock. We're at the Geomax MX53 launch from Dunlop. Now, Brock, this is a brand new tire to the market. We're just learning about it today for the very first time. What new technology have you guys put in these tires that warranted a new tire release?
Well, I mean, the MX53 is going to replace the MX52, and that was our intermediate to hardpack terrain tire. And the MX53, we've tried to do a couple of things with that, is we've tried to actually broaden the spectrum of where the tire worked well. The MX52, even though it was supposed to be kind of an intermediate to hard, it really ended up being our hardpack tire because most people migrated towards the MX33. So with this tire, we wanted to improve the intermediate conditions performance and also just keep that legendary performance in the hardpack and also keep the durability. So we've been able to accomplish this with a multitude of things, you know, different compounds, different patterns, different construction. And the front tire also, we incorporated a new apex design, a new fair feet design in it, and it's really made the tire a much more progressive turning tire, a little more linear turn in, doesn't take as much effort to change directions, so it's got some great feedback. We're really interested in getting all the feedback from the media today, but all of our tests have been very happy.
So for the consumer who's already running your top-of-the-line tire that's used to coming to this track and riding, when they get on this specific set of tires today, how can they expect this tire to perform different than they felt in the past?
Well, if you're going to run the MX53 and it's a little bit loamy, you're going to probably notice a little better drive in those conditions. Again, hardpack, it's not going to be a whole lot different, but you are going to notice, particularly in the front, you're going to notice that the tire turns a little easier, and again, as I mentioned, a little bit more linear turn, meaning as you come hard into a braking corner, or maybe you're entering very aggressively into a bowl corner, when you go to turn the tire, transition that from more straight line, hard braking when you're really loaded into the corner, it's going to feel a little easier to turn and a little easier to change directions.
All right, we're out here with Alex right now. So you just got done spending some time out there on the track, tearing up the brand new MX53. What do you think about the tire?
It's a really good tire. They just launched it today, and you know, it's a little similar to the MX52, but they just sort of broadened up the range a little bit, made it a little bit better to work in the and a little bit more of the softer conditions, not just the hard stuff. So yeah, I mean, we're out here at Perris and we're riding, and it's good so far.
Now, the 33 is the best for the more loamy type terrains, which it was like this morning. I mean, it was a really groomed track. Track looked really good. And this tire goes from soft all the way to hard. So how was it in the soft condition?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad with their new pattern they have. It really it cleans the tire out really well. And, you know, and like I said, it just broadens it up a little bit, makes it a little bit, gives it a little bit more range, so you don't want to so you don't have to change your tires like halfway through the day, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can show up with this tire early in the morning and just run it all day. If you get a little bit, the track gets a little bit more hard packed, you know, then you're dialed.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for feedback. Appreciate it.
Man, sounds good.
Hey guys, here with Cole Seeley. You look beautiful out there on the track.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's, I haven't been to Paris in probably 3 years, so it's cool to kind of see the new layout and just rail some ruts and have fun.
So we're out here at the brand new launch of the Geomax MX53 from Dunlop. It's a new tire in the marketplace. They say it goes from soft all the way to hard pack. Now, you've ridden this track a million times on lots of different tires. How do these tires feel today?
It was good. It was really good. I mean, we're going to be, it started out pretty loamy and wet and heat right now, so I think we're going to see that transition later into kind of a hard pack setting too, so we'll see how the tire kind of holds up with the terrain throughout the day. But I've ridden it before, kind of some early testing at the Supercross track. It's a good tire. I mean, Dunlop, I mean, they're definitely ahead of the game when it comes to developing tires, and they include a lot of the pro riders in their development to kind of get our feedback. So we're definitely fortunate to be a part of that process.
There you go. Approved by Cole Seeley. You guys, take a look at the new MX53 if you're looking for new set tires. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Here next to me here is Michael Lindsay, who just got done ripping hot 8 laps out here on the tire. Michael's going to give us our first impressions of this new tire from Dunlop.
Yeah, so it's just a quick opinion. We did about 8 laps. I waited for the track to break in a little bit because even though this is based as Dunlop's more hard-packed terrain motocross tire, Perris gets ripped fairly well in the morning, so they beautied it all up for us. And it's kind of a cool opportunity to see how the tire starts in loam condition, moves to hard pack, because they knew with the outgoing product that it was really pretty much only hard pack base. It's interesting to hear them say that the sales on them were a little more even, because personally, if you're like me and you're just a track rat, everybody runs the 33. It starts so good in the morning. By the time you get to any blue groove or hard pack at the very end of the day, that tire still holds performance. And that's kind of the point of it. That's why the guys race in Supercross and motocross, because right as the track really starts to go away, it still has something, but it starts to wear the tire heavily. They knew, though, that this tire is still really popular for a lot of people, but they still wanted to widen the range that it works in that operating range. Because like I said, for me, man, I used it more for off-road than anything. It had to be insanely blue groove. I mean, probably those tracks you see on YouTube from like France that some of the guys ride, like it has to be pretty blue groove for me to pick a 52. So they said they really went to work on a few things to try to widen that. So we started out a little more loamy this morning, some nice fresh ruts that don't really have hooks in them, which for me was one of the biggest determining points if this tire is improved, because the 52, I couldn't roll through ruts very easy on it. It had such an aggressive sidewall, meant to get traction like on hard pack ruts that barely had any depth to them, so you could roll over on it if there wasn't really anything to hold you. That type of knob for me in a good loamy rut was too aggressive, and it would basically climb out of the rut early. I have enough, I'm small, I weight the front a lot though because I sit really far forward. I always have enough front end traction that with that style tire, I would just pop out of ruts early. It was hard for me to carry a nice long curve through a corner. Let's say we got the good ruts out here, threw it on the 53, and it's a lot better in those conditions. Has a lot better roll character mid to exit. It's more consistent. It doesn't try to climb out early. It's a little more mindless to steer, if I had to give you kind of a word to throw it, because I'm just laying it. I'm not having to think about it as much. It just carves a little bit calmer. I'm not having to overcorrect because the front's trying to climb out early. So that's the biggest improvement for me in the ruts, is that it just doesn't bite that heavily. Another big thing they did is the pattern, they call it a horseshoe. It's like a U shape of different knob design they've done, and it's supposed to help a lot in our braking, because I felt like the prior 52, if you just grabbed a handful under heavy braking, would skid a little bit or push. This is really has a lot of grip under braking. I'm surprised like how much it's basically pulling down the fork, because I'm getting really good bite under heavy braking, and I've tried a few times to just kind of wait for a late brake or just randomly stab the brake really hard, seeing if it'll either tuck or push, and it stays upright really well. So I'm really impressed with that. The rear tire still holds a little more of the old character to me. It still feels a little more straight towards hard pack on the loose stuff. It has good traction, just not as good as a 33. It doesn't paddle through the dirt as much. It's kind of moving on top of it, but it's consistent. It's consistent along the carcass as a nice rounded character, which makes it, once again, consistent how it's going to react. I just don't think it offers the peak performance to the 33 in these conditions. But I would say the biggest positive for it is the actual carcass comfort. The 52 for me, anytime I'd land off stuff into braking bumps or come out of corners, acceleration chop, you could just feel a lot more of it. That carcass felt really stiff. The 53 so far has more give in that carcass, so it works better when it's on loamy exits, when you're getting nice sharp edges from heavy acceleration areas. This tire is definitely more absorbent there, so it is working better. Overall, my first impression though is I actually really quite like the front tire. I could see myself mixing the front with a 33 rear if I knew I was going to start in more of an intermediate and go to a hard pack for the day. The rear I'm still leaning a little more towards I would only pick if I had more straight hard pack conditions to start from. I still think the 33 offers a little bit better rounded performance in the back, but each end is definitely an improvement.
And there you have it. First impressions of the new Dunlop Geomax MX53 tire. Hey guys, right here with Vincent today. He just got done ripping the track on his little bike here. Now that new MX53, how do you like it?
Yeah, it's a great tire. It helps me with my turns, and they're the best.
There you go. The Dunlop MX53, guys. This is it from Vincent Way. The brand new Geomax MX53 tire from Dunlop. If you're looking for a tire that's going to give you better all-around performance than you've ever seen before, this is one you should probably take a look at. I'm Kyle from Chaparral Motorsports. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care and ride safe.